Welcome to the Keys to Success with your host, Deba Douglas, and my beautiful host, Tilisa Stubbs. How are you doing today?
Girl, normally, Deba, I'm like super optimistic and like super bubbly. And I'm like, yeah, my week is going great. But if I'm being completely honest, I'm irritated this week.
Oh, no. Okay, let
Yeah,
me ask contractors or wholesalers, because it's usually either one of those that's pissed us off.
wholesalers.
Of
It's,
course.
it's, it's, it's wholesalers.
Of course.
And I just feel like the level of integrity is starting to, I mean, I already know that wholesalers already had a bad name.
Yeah.
But it's like the level of integrity is starting to continually go down. And I'm just like, I don't understand. If you're good to me, you're going to have a consistent buyer.
Yeah.
You guys must be okay with these one-offs. That's why you're not closing a bunch of deals. That's why you can't keep your buyers because your integrity is not there. Your honesty is not there. You don't keep your word. So anyways, I say
Yeah.
this to say that if you're looking at this and you're a wholesaler, whether that's newer or older, if you're a good wholesaler, ring my number, reach out to me, hit up my DMs because I pay a nice assignment fee for those wholesalers that are willing to put in that work and are good, honest people. So, anyways, put that out there for the folks.
You gotta plug them in.
That's like one page of my everyday, like, dang, can you give me a really good deal that actually makes sense? But that's neither here or there. I definitely get it. I definitely get it. But I am so excited of our guests today, the property queens. I have Chelsea and Sharon. They are so dear to my heart. They are one of my mentees. They're actually on their second property. But with Chelsea and Sharon, I have like a personal relationship with them outside of real estate investing. So I am super excited to have you guys, and it's such an honor to have you guys.
Yay, we're happy to be here.
Oh, such a pleasure to be here.
Well,
Oh,
go ahead. Sorry, Deba.
No, you're good. You got it.
So, okay, so Chelsea, you and I, we've met on a couple of occasions, and I know that you've been in Deba's mentorship for some time now. How did you and Sharon, how did you guys decide that you wanted to start working together? How did this all kind of blossom?
Man, your partner, your partner. Your partner plugged us in. And so I know I had been looking and I had a little bit of, I had a little bit of coin saved up and I'm like, I'm ready to do this and I'll do whatever I need to do. And Deb was really good about like, if this is your only and your last, like she don't want you to just spend like your only and your last to get into something because you don't know how it's going to, really be. And so then she knew Sharon as well. She had a personal relationship with her. And I remember she texted me, it was like 3:00 or 3:30. And she was like, hey, I think I found somebody for you. Can you be on a call in 30 minutes? And I was like, absolutely. So I like blocked off the rest of my work schedule. I was like, y'all ain't gonna make it today. I got on that call. I sure did. I got on that call because when Deba came, because I had been waiting patiently to like get that flip, do something. And so I had just been sticking by Deba's side. I'm like, if you stick by her side, like you're going to be good. So I was patient. I waited. And that one day she texted me and I said, oh, it's go time. Like, and we hopped on that call. I met my fabulous partner. And from there, like we have been locked in.
Oh, yeah. And, to think about it, it's actually been a year because we connected in February.
Yep.
And we flipped our first home in March.
Got it in March.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. That's an anniversary.
It's our anniversary.
Yay. I love that. Go ahead, Deborah.
One thing I do want to talk about is that, okay, you guys decided to partner. I put us all on the call. And during that call, I really just put it all out there. And I was very transparent about, okay, now we're going to be putting money together on a deal. We got to make sure everyone thinks and looks at money differently. So talk a little bit about that conversation about if you are thinking about partnering, some things that we did discuss.
What was awesome, Deba, is that your mentees and your people. So because you knew a lot that we had similar characteristics, but also we had different characteristics that honestly, if we put them together, it balances out and allows us to be very successful. So in that call, we were all very transparent. I didn't act like I had more than what I had. She didn't act like she had more than what she had. You were very honest and say, hey, this is a risk, but you guys got this. What you need to be successful is already in you. Because remember, Deba, I think I I took the class like the course a year
Mhm.
before I even decided to really put all that knowledge into motion. And so, and I think that set the stage for us because we are very transparent with one another through the good, through the bad.
Yes.
And like you say, you put us all together, and our goal was to figure things out. And that's what we do, whether it's the first flip that was very textbook or the second flip that was more like a roller coaster. We were like, okay, let's be honest.
Yep.
This is what we have before us. Everybody is in it. It is a commitment. It's not kind of like it's your fault or mine. Like we always say, it's kind of like we over me. What are we going to do about this situation? So it's been great.
Yep. And if I have a credit card that's maxed out, I'm telling my partner, hey, I'm maxed. I'm maxed, and not saying y'all should max your credit cards out, but like, in that moment when you're trying to do what you need to do, it's like, hey, I don't have it right now, so just being transparent about money, what you do and don't have, it just makes it a lot easier.
And that's what a partnership is, wherever one is lacking, the other stands in the gap. Because at the end of the day, it's our deal and not just one or the other.
Yeah. And I think what's beautiful is that in society, normally when you're working, your regular W-2, no one ever talks about money. Like you have no idea what this next person is making. Right. You don't really talk about money. All you talk about is payday, but nobody really knows how much you're getting paid. And it's something like, I know when I worked at a regular job, it was kind of underliningly told that you don't discuss pay. Yes. Because everyone's pay is different based on their experience and things like that. So that's one big thing that is a hurdle in our society, is that when you're in real estate investing, you tell everybody about the money. You tell everybody about how much money you made, what's the cap rate, what's the net profit. And that's one of the biggest things that you have to get comfortable understanding. What is your relationship with money? Do you, how do you spend money? Because that all comes to play when you are working with someone.
Oh, that's so good. And so when you guys decided that you were going to go into this partnership, I want to talk about what were some of the conversations that needed to be had, because I know, like, as far as roles, who's going to be doing what, who's responsible for what, who's paying for what. When you guys had that initial conversation, what were some of those questions that came up that you guys had to answer for yourselves?
Oh my gosh. We learned the power of a spreadsheet.
Oh, yes.
Deba, she had a conversation with us, and that's exactly what she said. Who's going to be the main contact for the contractors? Who's going to order the materials? Who's going to make sure we're documenting who's paying what as it relates to the money?
Right.
And at first I was like, well, we're a partnership, we'll figure it out. But then, of course, once you're in the deal, things are going so fast. You're getting calls from contractors. And what I love about it, originally we kind of designated, I don't know, were you going to be the main communicator for the contractor?
Yeah.
But what happened is, guess what? Both of us have a W-2. Both of us have a day job. So when one person was not available, the other person made themselves available. And I think that was key throughout this process, because it kept the work going. It didn't stall the progress of the flip.
Yeah, we had our major kind of roles, but for the most part, like whoever had the time to talk to a contractor, go to the house, you need to talk to that contractor, go to that house. It wasn't like, well, you're the main person. No, if I can do it, I'm going to do it. If you're busy, you're busy. So now I think we're just blessed in this partnership because we do flow so well. That might not be the case for everyone, but we are very much like, oh, you can't do it, I'll do it. But in the beginning, we did try and like kind of stick to certain things. But after a while, you know, I'm like, okay, I do spreadsheets. Like I'm in HR. I deal with numbers. I deal with spreadsheets.
She loves numbers.
I can do that.
Hate numbers.
So spreadsheet, doing that, it didn't bother me. I'm like, I'm looking at spreadsheets all day. I can create this. I can do this. Whereas she is really good with like the people part and the communication. Cause I'm like, I'm about to go off on these contractors. Like, oh my God.
I tell people all the time, she's coming in hot. Hold on. I'm calm. I'm calculated. But you know what? I'm glad that she's like that, because sometimes I am too calm and people kind of see that as a sign of weakness. She's very assertive and she doesn't take no for an answer. And so I have grown in that area. I'm like my husband said, man, you show bossy. I keep saying, you know, that's my partner in me, you know, kind of.
It gets worse.
Hey, let's bring it on, because we have money to make. We have deals to do. We're talking to people. And like Deba says, you are the boss. Like our first project, we kind of let it go a little bit. She's like, y'all are the boss. Y'all have to be assertive. You know, we're looking to her with our puppy dog eyes and like, yeah, she's there to guide us. But like, you need, if you know that this is wrong or you know that this is not going the right way, be assertive. So then we really had to, you know, be like, hey, we know this is not right. Say something. So you just have to know when to like step up and speak up for yourself, especially being a woman in this
male-dominated field.
Yeah.
You got to ask the right questions and not be afraid to ask the questions.
Yeah.
Ooh. And that right there, feeling afraid to ask the right questions, because I think that sometimes, especially as women, we can feel a little bit intimidated when we're talking to this big general contractor and we're asking about, you know, the siding or whatever. And they're talking to us like we don't even know what we're talking about. They're belittling us or like talking over us. It takes for a strong woman to be like, nope, excuse me, sir. I do know what I'm talking about. This is a concern of mine. I'd appreciate it if you took this a little bit more seriously. Thank you.
Exactly. And even if you don't know, because for me and my partner, we always say we don't build houses. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know all it takes to do this, but like break it down, because then they'll start talking to you and they'll start talking about this small little technical things. And I'm like, break it down, make it plain to me. I need to understand. And so I'm like, say it to me in a way that I can say it back to you. Because one thing for me, I like to say things back to people. Am I understanding this correctly? So it causes them to explain it better to me, because if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm gonna keep asking you. So you just have to
work for us.
And that y'all work for us, but you also have to put that nice girly touch on it, like, thank you for doing that, I appreciate it. You know, after I'm like bit your head off, it's like, well, thank you. The house looks great.
Right.
The house, oh man, the cabinet. Like first I'll always say, oh, the cabinets look real good. Okay, so let's draw our attention to this side over here. What's going on over here?
There we go.
So knowing when to like put that, you know, you have to be a little bit feminine with them too, because they'll start looking at you crazy, like she's mean. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to get this done.
Right. Look, you got to give them a little bit of sweetness first, then give them the hard news, and then end it with a little bit
and
of
a little more sweetness.
Yeah.
It's like what is like the iron fist and the velvet glove.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There
Yeah.
we go.
And you need to make sure that whatever you do, when they see your car pull up, you hear them all talking. Okay, here she's here. She's here. So everybody gets what they're supposed to be doing.
That music down.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that first deal, let's talk a little bit about that deal. Where did you find it? How did you find it? And what were the numbers on that deal?
Oh, man,
amazingly enough, it was the MLS.
We found it on the MLS and put in an offer. Didn't even think we put in 3 offers that day.
Yes.
That made sense with our fabulous real estate calculator. Thank you, Deba. So we used our calculator. It made sense, the numbers we put in. And so even though it was like a low ball offer, it worked for us. It was on the market for $270. We got it for $210 because that's what made sense when we put our rehab and all the other numbers in. So we got it for a deal like $60K off of the list price. And then we sold for $350 and ended up making $30K We were over budget as well. We were way over budget, still ended up making 30K. So all praises to God on that one. It was a good process for us, that one. The second one, we'll talk about that. But the first one, it went how you would want it to kind of go.
It sold in like our first open house. Where we got it under contract.
Yeah.
In one weekend.
Like, what? Put it on the market Friday, got an offer Saturday, got more offers Sunday, and then we went with the offers that we had. So it went, but it looked really good. So the contractors did a great job on the home. I mean, it looked really good. The staging was really good. So we put a lot of time and effort into that house, and more, a little bit more money than we should have, but it paid off in the end because they walked into that house with nothing to do.
Wow. Nice. Okay, I do have a question because someone's listening and they're like, okay, so you saw it on the market for 270 and then y'all offer 210. Do you feel like that's insulting? Like, what are your thoughts when you're going through putting in offers that are so low?
Well, I'm gonna be very honest with you. We cannot assume that everybody's in the same situation. And there are some people who put houses on the market that they just want to get rid of. They just want to be done. And there are some people who put houses on the market where they really want to make money. So, but we learned, number one, you have to always be analyzing deals. And then, of course, after you're analyzing deals, you got to always make offers because you don't know which offers are going to be accepted. So you can't get an offer accepted if you don't put in one. And so, you know how the kids say, we had to shoot our shot. And on that particular one, it was a slam dunk.
And to piggyback off of that, the lady, that home was, the owner had passed.
And it was the son selling it.
So they were ready to we didn't know that, but they were ready to get rid of that house. And we came in with hard money. So that's cash in their eyes. It was a 10-day close. No inspection. I don't think we did an inspection or anything. We fluffed up our numbers for our rehab. So, we were able to get it and make it worth their while because they're like thinking all cash, 10 days. The house needed work. It's not like somebody was going to move in and live in that house. Like it had to be, some work done to it. So we just got a lucky situation. But again, we didn't know that lady had passed, but we put in an offer and it made sense for the person selling it to be like, I'm ready to get rid of it. So
but that's why it's important to have a real estate, a realtor that is a real estate investor friendly realtor, because the terms were everything. And if you put if your realtor puts the right terms out there, they're actually providing an offer that a lot of people can't refuse, especially if they're trying to get rid of a property
that has no offers on it.
Very, very true. And a lot of the terms have nothing to do with the purchase price. It just has to do with how confident can we get to the closing table and be done and walk away from this house. So that is definitely evident. So, okay, so you do this first house, you're rocking and rolling. What did we do with the 30,000 that we made?
Man,
I'm nosy, and we want to hear. We want to know what you did.
I'll be honest with you guys. Can I? Okay. I'm an educator, so we don't make a lot of money, and I've never been to Essence. And I told my partner, I said, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of this money and I'm going to have me a good time at Essence. And I did.
As you did.
And I did put a little bit of money back because, of course, we didn't want it to be a one-off. We're learning. We're being a part of Deba's mentee group is more than just a course. I mean, we're learning from one another, and we're growing, and we're trying to build something because we're already a part of a very special community. So, but I had a little fun. Did you have a little fun, partner?
I went on a 7-day cruise. Too long. It was too long.
But we need to
enough money to get the drink package.
But I did well. That's another story. But I went on a cruise, and then I paid some bills. Obviously, we want to be a little bit frugal. or smart with our money. So I did a little fun. I did some responsible stuff, and then again, like my partner said, put some money back. So and I went shopping just a little bit because obviously I had to get me some clothes. So we definitely had fun with the money, and we were smart with the money. So because we knew we wanted to do another deal.
Right.
And to be very honest, like she said, I had a responsible piece too. I was able to help pay for my daughter's summer tuition. She's at a university in another state, so it felt really good to be able to do that. So
I love this, you guys. Well, one, kudos to you guys for finding the deal on the MLS. I know that there may be some viewers on here who aren't really familiar with all the real estate terms. So just briefly tell them, what is the MLS, just for those who have no idea what that is.
That's where you find properties on your phone. Like you get on Zillow, you get on realtor.com, you have a realtor who has actual access to the MLS, because that's where all the houses that are on the market are posted. So your realtor can help push some deals to you. But this house was on Zillow. We found it on, just scrolling, looking. We were like, oh, Carrollton, Texas, that's a good area. Oh, there's a school right around the corner. Okay, that's a good area. There's some shopping centers over here. That's really good. So it worked for us, literally just on Zillow, looking at the other homes that have sold around that house. And we were able to find that home on Zillow. Don't knock Zillow.
And see, and I'm just making a point because you guys can do the exact same thing. Some of you guys are working your 9-to-5s right now. You're working in the healthcare industry. You're working in the education industry, and you think that you getting into real estate investing is for somebody else. It's not, boo. It's for you too. You have a break. You had them kids have recess, right? Okay. Pull your phone out, get on Zillow, and the exact same thing that these two ladies did, start putting in offers. It doesn't matter if you think that they're going to accept your offer. Like Sharon said, you do not know what somebody's situation is. They had no idea that the seller had passed and the son was trying to sell the property. They had no idea. Put that offer in and just see what happens. So I just wanted to just kudos to you guys, because I think that a lot of people try to make up a lot of excuses, and you guys just put all the excuses to rest. So
because we had excuses. They were, we don't have enough for this or that. But like once you put it to rest and you try and figure it out, you'll figure it out. So now I got an email inbox dedicated to wholesale properties. And then I'm on Zillow just for kicks and giggles. Okay, I'm looking at those multi-million-dollar mansions. And while I'm looking at those from time to time, I'm like, because one day I'm putting in an offer, but the other time I'm like, well, let me go look at some homes that are below 200,000 and let me see the market. Like, let's go see what's going on. So I have the Zillow app on my phone. I will be out at dinner or with my friends, and I will be on Zillow. And they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I gotta find another house.
For real.
It's pretty addicting. It's definitely addicting. Once you know how to look for the house and you know the formula, it's like new knowledge, and you don't look at houses the same way anymore. You're looking at, okay, what is the ultimate value? How much money can I make? And it's kind of like a game that you play with yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Deba, you said new knowledge. Tilisa, I was one of those that said, this is not for me. I mean, I am originally from Mississippi. My parents told me, you go to college, you get a job, you work that same job until you retire and pay your house off that you're living in. I knew nothing about real estate investing, knew nothing about flipping, knew nothing about this. And as I said earlier, just being a part of this course and then, being one of Deba's mentees, it has truly opened my eyes to this whole new world of possibilities, of limitless possibilities, because in my 9-to-5, I do feel limited. So it's a mindset change just from, abundance, and the fact that, what, I deserve to have nice things too. I deserve to do big things. And this can honestly be the vehicle to help me get to where I'm trying to go.
Yeah. And to piggyback off that, if you don't have the community already, like I didn't grow up with parents who were like, buy houses, do real estate. I want to do this or do that. Same thing, go to school. And, us millennials, we like, this is a scam. We all went to school. We got student loan debt. This is crazy. I'm supposed to buy a house and have kids and do all these things. And I'm like, something about this formula is not like adding up right. So I had to stop talking to my parents about wealth, period, because no one around me knew anything about wealth. And so if you're like B, you have to get out of that first, and then you have to go put yourself in a community. So I remember just researching, investors in Dallas, investor courses, this and that. So I'm like, well, I got to be in the community of people first, because I don't have anybody feeding me the right stuff right now. So I need to position myself to at least be in the winner circle, because just by rubbing elbows with the right people, you're going to find a deal, you're going to find a partner, you're going to do stuff. So you have to get out of that first. And I know we hear that all the time, like, hey, you got to be around people. What do you do? So I had to get out of that. I had to stop talking to my parents. I had to stop talking to my friends about it, the people I were hanging out with. And I bought a house and nobody knew until a month after I bought it, because I was like, y'all don't understand what I'm going through anyway.
Right.
So I'm just going to talk to my mentor and people in the group until I can figure something else out. And then I wanted to flip, and I'm like, well, I'm still in the group. I still want to do this. And then I found my partner. And so now she's even the person I talk to about like with money and certain things. And obviously my mentor and people in the group. So I'm like, well, I found my community where talking about money is not a taboo, or it's not just like, oh, you're boasting or this or you're that. So now I'm trying to be a little bit better about being open, but I'm just like, we kind of move in silence. We are very
this is a big thing for us, to be very honest with you.
We just make moves and we just kind of do stuff, but it works for us because that's kind of how we are. So we'll get a little better at it. But once you find that community of people, like, you're good, but you have to get out of your certain situation and be with people who are putting in the offers, who are going to open houses, who are doing this and that, whatever it is you want to do. You got to go get around those people who are already doing it.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off of that real quick, Chelsea, that period where you have to remove yourself from family and friends, it's lonely.
Yeah.
And there are times where you do, like you said, you want to celebrate or you want to talk to somebody about an issue that's going on in the business that you're facing. And immediately you think about, oh, I should call my sister, or oh, I should call my cousin or my friend. And then you start thinking like, I don't know if they're actually going to be able to give me what I need in this situation. And so you end up just not saying anything or waiting until you get to your community to just kind of blab it all out. So understand that loneliness during that season, that's a part of the process. Like, you have to experience that isolation in order for God to start to propel you to that next level. So talking about next level, the next deal. So you guys bought this property, you found it on the MLS, you renovated it, you were able to sell it, make a $30,000 profit. You guys celebrated yourselves as you should. And now you're looking for your next property. Walk us through what that process was like.
I was on my cruise. You go ahead. I'm gonna let my partner take it off.
Okay. I was just coming back from Essence. And as you said earlier, Deb was saying, we were just constantly connecting Zillow. We were connecting with different wholesalers. And I was literally at home just scrolling away and looking. And I think I was on Facebook. And I saw that there was a home that was available, and I reached out to the wholesaler. And the wholesaler, offered, just say, hey, I can give it to you for this amount. And of course, I've learned don't go for the first amount that they give you. So I countered. And then when I countered, I said, hey, I would like to take a look. So I was able to connect with one of the realtors in the community. And that realtor was able to connect with one of our contractors in the community. And within 24 hours, we were on site taking a look. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I see the potential. Okay, this is good. But then having that contractor there with me to say, yes, we can do this. Yeah. Or, you know what, it looks rough, but it's not so bad. There was a plan. Because my eyes are one thing, but a contractor's eyes, that's a whole nother set of eyes. So I contacted My partner said, I think we got a spot. And she said, well, what do you think? And I said, I think we should offer. And we contacted the wholesaler. And I think the day you came back, we paid the assignment fee, and it was full steam ahead.
Okay. So purchase price on this, and where was the location at?
It was in kind of like the northern East Dallas area, near community college. Really nice area, not too far from White Rock Lake. And it was, the purchase price was $160,000.
Okay.
ARV was 307.
Yes.
Our ARV was 190, but it got appraised for 307. But ask us how we're doing.
How are you doing, ladies?
I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked.
Well, as you know, this we got the property. Was it the end of July or the beginning or August?
It was the end of July. It was beginning. We closed, and it was the first day of August. It's like when we closed.
And as you know, interest rates started climbing, and when we got the appraisal initially, we were like, okay, this is great. 307 is great. And then, of course, it takes a few weeks, I say 6 to 8 weeks, to go through the flip. And then we put it on the market, and it didn't move. And we were like, okay, this is a nice home. I think everything. So we looking back, see, okay,
what's going on?
What's wrong? Waiting for some feedback. Had another open house, no offers. Several weeks passed, still no offers. Well, at this point, we're now getting close to the Christmas holidays. And people don't typically buy homes around the Christmas holidays. So we took it off the market, and we just put it back on the market last weekend. Had our first open house. Well, I guess like open house again. We had some traffic, which was good. However, right now, unfortunately, no offers. But you know what? My partner and I, throughout these last several months, because think about it, the house was finished in October. So from October, November, December, January, here it is February, we've had a lot of talks. We've had a lot of venting sessions. We've motivated each other, lifted one another up. We say, look, we're just looking for one offer, the right offer. And you know what? It's good. Be mad, be upset, whatever. We got to come up with a plan. Let's see what the next plan is. And we just kind of been leaning on each other and keeping each other positive throughout the process, because how do we flip a home in March and we sell it like the end of May, and then we acquired this home in July, and we have literally had it for half a year. But with our wonderful mentor, we talk about things with her and say, okay, what can we do to make the house more appealing, to bring in, more potential buyers. But we know at the end of the day, what we always say, we can't keep this house. So
we're not even worried about it, because I'm like, we can't keep this house. So it doesn't. I mean, it matters, but we can't keep this house.
And we're both believers. And we believe that, all it takes is for God to touch the right head and heart to move this house. And that's what we're going to keep believing and standing on. And it's going to happen.
It's going to sell. We've made small additions or small tweaks to it here and there that we have found. And so this also told us like our attention to detail just a little bit. Our last contractor, he was really good with his team was really good with like attention to detail. And so some of our contractor this time was really good too, but there were just something we were like, oh, this or oh, that. Okay, we need to look at this. And it's things that we didn't, express.
Yeah, it was on us.
Yeah,
we just didn't, we were like, articulate what we wanted.
The house was done. And I was like, oh, weren't we supposed to do this? And weren't we supposed to do that? And didn't this? And I'm like, we totally, forgot about some of these different things. And so that's another reason why we've kind of been sitting on this house. And so now we're like, well, what else can we do to it? And I'm like, I don't think there's anything else we can really do except for, like my partner said, just getting that one offer. So we have been patient, and we're just like, okay, it's gonna sell, but we are now.
We're learning a lot.
Yeah,
We're definitely learning a lot, and we'll be ready because once we sell this, when, not if, when we sell this home, we're gonna dive into the next one. And guess what?
Yep.
2024, we're gonna
Yep.
flip some stuff, and we're gonna
buy
buy some stuff.
We're
Right.
gonna flip some stuff. We're gonna buy some stuff. So
But you guys, I hope that y'all realize that y'all got real like grown women problems. Like it's people that's looking at this right now, like, dang, I wish I had those kind of problems. So I wish I had a property, you know, that was just sitting and waiting for a next offer right now. Like you guys have big girl problems. So I mean,
Yeah. And what's beautiful is that no one talks about this.
No.
No one talks about what happens when that house does not move. Like what happens when that house does not sell.
That's
And
true.
and I think a lot of people get bamboozled on social media because, oh, a closing, I made X amount of money. Oh, this. But there were moments that the house does not move. Yes, this house will sell. But in the meantime, there is that level of waking up in the middle of the night, like, dang, there's another holding fees. How am I going to pay for this holding fee? Or dang, here's a utility bill. No one's in this house. Like, what is going on? And I love the fact of you guys just being transparent that, I mean, it's the market. There's nothing we really can control with it. We had a lot of success on the first one. Now looking back, we probably bought the house at the wrong time frame because homes really don't move as fast as they do in the spring and in the summer months. But I just love the fact that y'all are so transparent that there have been moments that they've called me and they're like, Deba, we ain't got enough money to pay for the next month. And I'm like, okay, well, let's figure out a plan. Let's see what this is going to look like. Then we go walk the house together. And I'm like, the house is beautiful. It's all about that community and making sure you have someone that has your back and not pointing fingers like, now I'm out of money. What is this going to happen? And just listening to you guys talk about your resilience of like, this is going to sell, having a positive attitude about it, because you know you put a great product out there. It's just trying to find the right buyer. So I do give you guys kudos because it's tough. Like I've sat here, I've been here before. Y'all have seen me. I literally shared everything with y'all. It's not easy, but taking the risk is so much worth it because you're learning so much even in this low season.
Yeah, because like flipping homes is very sexy right now. Like HGTV makes it seem so easy, but no one talks about the behind the scenes. And I think what makes our partnership so wonderful is we're very real with one another.
Yeah.
We're very real, but at the same time, all right, we talked about the reality of what's going on. Okay, how are we going to fix it?
Yeah.
How are we going to move forward?
Yeah.
So we don't deny what's going on,
right?
But we always make the shift as, all right, we're gonna get through this, just like we've gotten through everything else.
Yep, and what they say, it takes 5 years to really get good at something. Mm-hmm. Well, I think this is probably like my second full year now, doing this, and so I'm rolling into year 3. She's rolling into year 2. We still got a couple of years to get kind of good at this,
right?
We still have to keep learning. So when we always say, well, we need to sell this not so we can be done, but we need to sell this to be done to move on to the next. Like we're already in the mindset of as soon as this bad boy sells, we are back on it with these wholesalers and back on the MLS and looking at different things. And so if you're going to pick a contingent plan, you got to stick to whatever that, looks like for you. So real estate, that's what it is for me. That is what I have aligned myself with. And so for now, that is what I am focusing on. So trying to focus on so many other things, that's not going to work for me. I'm like, real estate is my ticket to freedom. So find what your ticket is, but you got to stick with it for a little bit.
And just with any other skill that you learn, like if you go to college, you're going to spend money. It's going to take time. So we are learning a new skill and it takes money. But you know what? I'd rather bet on myself than on another organization.
Ooh, say that again.
Because I can control what my hustle. I can control my motivation and what I do. But I can't control what another organization does with my assets.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. People that are listening, they're kind of like on the fence, like, okay, I don't want to buy a house and then it sits and I don't know if I'm ready to do this. What advice can you give someone that is listening, watching, to really give them some motivation or some inspiration, what advice can you give them?
I would say for me, what has worked for me is not being in it alone, because I was going to try and flip by myself, but that's not what God had for me. So he found someone else who could help share that burden. So if you can find someone to be in the trenches with you that is level headed, like if you are a little bit on the, the heated side, then you need to find someone who's a little more level headed. Like both of y'all can't be going in hot, but you need to find someone who can help, or both of you guys, need to have that partnership to where if you're in it, you're like, I'm not alone. Like it's just so much better when you're in it with someone and both of y'all are looking for the light at the tunnel. So if you are on the fence and you have the monies, but you don't want to put it all in, like find someone who can help share that burden, that cost, split that headache. Cause I'm like, partner, I can't talk to this contractor. I can't do it.
I was like, I'm
annoyed at work. They're annoying me at work. They're annoying me with these contractors. Everybody like heads are about to roll. And she's like, I got it. And then some days she's like, I'm annoyed. I've been dealing with kids and parents all day, or I'm tired. I've been on my feet. And I'm like, I got it. I'll call them. So for me, being able to share in this process has been very helpful. And then when you share your wins, like that's fun too. Like it's not all about just like sharing the bad, but just sharing your wins. And we've just become more than just real estate partners. Like we are partners. I talk to her about stuff and she's in education. She's helped me with like ideas for like my job school supply drive and just different things. And so find somebody who can align with you, who can provide you some support if you're gonna, do it. If you have that, accessibility. Obviously, everybody doesn't make a great partner, but if you can find someone, it could be extremely helpful.
And for me, if you're on the fence, I want you to literally sit and think because we always say we don't have the money. So think about, okay, if there is a small retirement plan, if there is a pocket of money that's just sitting there you hadn't done anything with, or, maybe you may have that supportive family member that's like, you know what, this is something that's important to you as a private funder. I will help you because real estate, the prices only go up. So if I wish I could have, as soon as I finished Deba's course, I wish I would have just gotten, of course, connected with you and done it like a year ago, but I didn't. And it's okay because guess what? The prices were a little cheaper on single family homes 2 years ago than now. So, but of course, I'm calm and calculated. Don't just jump. And like my partner says, you don't have a safety net or anything like that. So, because at the end of the day, it's a risk. But if you are able to connect with a mentor like Deba or somebody that we kind of call her our fairy god sister, because we're like, when she can't figure it out and I can't figure it out, what do we say? Let's text Deba.
That is hilarious.
I'm like, that's what she's here for. We need to call her.
But yeah.
Wow. Go ahead, Tilisa.
No, I was just going to say, I love that. You guys are such a dynamic partnership, and I hope that the audience was able to learn a lot from today. There's so many gems when you're able to partner with the right person. Like Chelsea said, find somebody that balances you out. If you're the one that's ready to jump, go from 0 to 100 real quick, find you somebody that maybe goes 0 to 5 real quick, but find that partner that complements you. And make sure that you guys both know what roles you guys are going to be playing. I'm thrilled that you guys were able to be here today. Y'all are just such a light and just such a wealth of information. If you guys could share one final thing with your 18-year-old selves, what would that one thing? Let's do it in 15 seconds. Chelsea, you go first.
Man, one thing I would share, I would tell myself, if you're going to go to college, you need to be in the tech industry or you need to have gone to school for real estate. If I was going to college, I probably would have learned some type of high trade as my 18-year-old self and maybe gotten into real estate. But if you're going to go to school, learn a high trade or just pivot and learn something that's not going to cost you so much, that's still going to give you some type of good output. So I would have done my career path just a little bit. I still would have gone to school and got some type of schooling or knowledge, but I would have went for something different.
Yeah.
Okay, good. What about you, Sharon?
Don't play it safe.
Ooh.
Don't play it safe. You can do it.
Oh, I love that. Don't play it safe, y'all. Woo! Because guess what? We're our only limitation. If we're saying I can only make $90,000 a year, I can only have 2 cars in my driveway, I can only have a 3-bedroom home, you're limiting what the universe and what God can do for you. You're putting a cap on what you can actually really do. So no, I say I want a private jet. I want to own my own private jet. I don't like flying on the planes because they dirty and I be looking at stuff and I be trying to wipe stuff down. And I know that if I have my own private jet, it's going to be clean every single time. I know that the food is not going to make my stomach go like, you know what I mean?
Yep. And I went to school for my master's actually, and I dropped out because I started talking to everybody and I was like, y'all not really making no money. And why am I going to go to school and put myself deeper into my math? And I love the field. I have a background in exercise science. So I just knew I was going to be a physical therapist or athletic trainer for the Cowboys or the Mavericks or something. But I'm like, okay, it takes a while for you to really get that funds. And I'm like, Chelsea, you say you want to be a millionaire, you want $1 million house, and you want to travel whenever you want to, you want to do this and you want to do that. But how are you going to do that if you're up at 5 a.m. for softball workouts?
Yeah.
How are you gonna afford $1 million mansion on a 50,000 athletic trainer salary or something like that? Like the math wasn't mathing to me. And I literally remember I felt so bad. I was the only Black person in my semester to make it from the first semester to the next one. Because if you got anything lower in a B, they kicked you out of the program. So I was the only one Black person that made it through to that second semester. And I felt so much guilt. I was like, maybe I'm supposed to carry this torch. Maybe I put that torch down. And I was like, oh, figure that out. Figure that one out.
Yes.
You can't, you're not gonna be able to afford the life that you really want. And as soon as I got my new job, then I connected with Deba and then I bought a house and I'm like, things just started working out. And I'm like, see, this is the way I was supposed to go. So yes, you went this other way, but God was like, well, since you say you want it so bad, I'm gonna show you. So luckily I had discernment. And he was like, I'm showing you this what you want. And I was like, nah. He was like, okay, so let's position you, let's get you into a different industry that can help support you for now. And now I'm at a great company. My job is good. I can stay here until I really get my real estate business up and going. So just find something that works for you. Don't stay where you're not supposed to stay.
Oh my gosh, this was such a great episode. And I just want I want y'all to just take a moment in and think, this is Black History Month. Mm-hmm. And all of us here, 4 women that decided to take a chance on our lives and take a risk and say, I'm going to bet on myself. We are literally our ancestors' wildest dreams based on just taking that step and saying, you know what, God, if you are God and you're going to do everything you said you were going to do, I'm going to let you do you and I'll get out the way. I'm going to get out of my own way. So those of you that are listening, please know that Sharon and Chelsea did not know anything about real estate other than what they saw on HDTV, based on what they saw on social media, but they just said, I'm not going to give up. They're on their second property that will be selling pretty soon. Mm-hmm. If you have any inclination, whatever it is, like Chelsea mentioned, that you want to go after, that keeps nudging at your heart, that's just God just telling you, hey, there's more for you. I want to expose you to more. I want to connect you with more. He just wants you to take that step. Just take the first step and let God finish the rest for you.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. Please like and subscribe. Anything that we can do, please let us know. Anything else, Tilisa?
Nope. You ladies have an amazing week. I think you guys inspired many. We have a lot of people in the comments right now, you guys. So you guys have inspired a lot of people today. Thank you for coming on and being so honest and transparent and sharing your story. We love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, we love you guys.
We'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Keys to Success podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to listen to more, be sure to subscribe to Apple Podcast and YouTube for our latest episodes.
Check out our show notes for more information on mentorship, private money lending, or if you just want to be a guest on our podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.